Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Tower Dominion. It's been a minute since I've actually made a video. I have played a decent amount off screen, like I've won a lot of games on even the hardest difficulty before Frontier mode. And I want to win a few more waves in regular old war mode. And I really want to get to know this red faction because I need to understand them. Something I would really like for the game is I wish it would just say right here. Now I know the game isn't really designed around endless mode. It's all about beating the actual challenge. But I wish it would say here like, difficulty 4, wave 59. So that was the highest I ever achieved with Commissar Anissa. If it just like said it right there, a little diagonal text box like this was the highest wave you achieved with this character. Or, that'd be kind of neat. I also wish that when I was choosing Frontier mode, I kind of wish that I could choose to have only one battlefront so that I could experience, the hardest mode of the game with a single lane, but all the negative modifiers. Now, I've basically unlocked everything with the exception of a single final wave that I have not yet unlocked. I've never gotten the Puma position expertise, so I don't have the advanced version nor the card here. And I'm missing a few efficiencies for different stuff. Eventually we might be able to figure out a way to unlock these. I think you mostly have to do it with the high tier blueprint guy. I'm really curious about Prime Caneza Estelia with that 25 discovery. I do wish I knew how discovery actually works. But buildings that are adjacent to a neutral building gain +1 range and 20% damage. This feels like a good overall all around like ability. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to beat just the regular difficulty 4. I could beat 19 Frontier and 15 Frontier on certain leaders, but I really want to hammer down and get good at the game and learn to beat the war mode, the tier 4 difficulty, like reliably. Now, depending on the start location that you get, it has a lot of implications on your game. I think there's a kind of a misconception in the community that there are good and bad starts. And I think every start is more or less playable because of the way the game's designed, right? Like if you have paths that connect early, that can be an advantage for certain reasons. And if you have paths that all go in different directions, that can be an advantage for certain reasons because you can make more base, etc., even though it's like relatively expensive in tiles to connect to a single battlefront. I think right now, with regards to the meta of the game, I do think having less battlefronts is generally better for a variety of reasons, mostly to do with path looping and spacing enemies out more. But like if I have this straight piece and I don't really have the recon to reroll right now, I'm kind of thinking about where I want to put this. Having a 2x2 +1 tile near the HQ could be really useful if I wanted to put a base there. Alternatively, a bit of flat terrain. I think I'm going to put the 2x2 near the base. Now, could we make this work a little bit better for ourselves on a different location? No, I think that's actually a pretty good spot right there. Slightly extend the path over here. When it comes to the HQ itself, the question is, do we want to go one left or run one right? I think the extra HP on the HQ is cool. I don't necessarily see a huge amount of value in the Praetorian Guard. These are units that I do not value a massive amount. That depends on if we want to play that way. I think because Prime Caneza Estelia leans very heavily into neutral buildings, I'm thinking that we're probably going to be leaning more towards towers rather than troops. So I think the support radar isn't as good as the support helipad here. Plus the 10% early repair is very useful for tanking some of the early waves. We don't necessarily have to go for the Reaper turrets. We could go for the Banner of the Regiment. I do like to get at least one Miridor near my HQ with a repair ability because that lets you take a little bit of extra damage. I am a big fan of the early Reaper cannons. The Banner of the Regiment is incredible. In particular, if you can get a 3x3 location for a battle fortress nearby. 30% rate of fire, 25% cost is like insane if I could have fit a battle fortress here, but this would take 6 platforms to make a battle fortress. So I think I will go for the Reaper cannons because they have extremely good early clear. They target most HP, so they kind of, they tickle down enemies, and then we can use a Miridor. We could either use a +3 height for camouflage clearing. I'm gonna go with a single Miridor right here, and another one over here. And hopefully the combination of these two plus the Reaper cannons will get me through these first few early waves. Yeah, shouldn't be too hard. We took no damage on this wave. That's perfect. So we don't necessarily want to get extra damage on our HQ. This does take it out of the pool, however. An extra 20 supply per battlefront this early into the game is really, really strong, actually. That's going to be a massive amount of supply over the course of the game. Very, very powerful. And it's a question of, do we want to focus on upgrading or do we want to go straight for the Star's Call to level up the commander statue. Usually you want to use this to activate a neutral building, so I'm going to focus on getting the underground depots here. The really big thing that this gives us is the +2 range. The 50% damage and rate of fire is quite good. And we don't necessarily need the detection early. So I'm going to go for Underground Depot. This gives it really good AoE coverage, so it has much better uptime. And then if I go for Logistic Reinforcement, this will double the damage again. So basically I just quadrupled the efficiency of this tower in terms of its DPS. We took a little bit of damage, but we do have some repair. Miridor efficiency is quite good. The upgrade costs being reduced is not amazing. The advanced Miridor is quite good too. Plus, I think you can only get this doctrine once. The 25 supply is also useful. All three of these are honestly really good. I think this is the least likely one that I want to get because I don't necessarily care too much about going for Miridor efficiency and then the upgrade. The Durendal position is incredible because I would get 2 of them and that actually works really well with guerrilla warfare, but I really don't want this upgrade cost reduction. So I'm going to go for the advanced Miridor plus the recon because there are certain things that I can spend recon on that are really useful. So what I would like to do is I want to turn this path to the... Do I want to turn this path to the right and loop it around like this? I could re-roll this. What's amazing is this is an incredible location for a battle fortress. And where do we want that battle fortress to be? I actually think right here is like the perfect battle fortress location. It's very near my HQ. It would have a really good coverage and it would be +1 height. I don't need to place the advanced Miridor just yet. I could go for veteran reinforcement. I would prefer to get the close support for that extra HP, damage, repair, etc. that makes your HQ just that little bit harder to break through. Yeah, see, you take a little bit of early damage with this plan. Okay, 75 recon is insane. Building adjacency is strong. This would be 4 Miridor blueprints. I don't know if I necessarily want to lean into that. I could take Vicious Crossfire and sell one of my Miridors, and then we would have +2 range and 20% damage, and then we just try to avoid Miridor blueprints for the rest of the game. Although the Miridor expertise and stuff is going to be polluting our pool for the rest of the game, so that's something we have to consider. Like, do we want to lean into them or lean away to them? I think we don't know if there's camouflage coming or not, so I feel like a reasonable decision here is to go for Vicious Crossfire. We're going to sell one of our Miridors, get that refund, boom. In fact, we're going to sell both of our Miridors and then get the advanced Miridor, and that will give us the extra +2 range. This one will go for the Underground Depot, and then we'll probably save for the long barrels. But no, actually, I think it's better to do this. So now I think this makes our HQ like pretty damn effective. We'll go to the next round. It doesn't matter if we take a bunch of damage because we have a lot of repair. So platform plus scout hideout is pretty good. These are two of my these are two of what I consider to be the weakest things. But they are positions, they do damage. And also early, one of the powerful things about early light mortar positions is if you put them in a good position, if you have good positions for your early mortar positions, they can actually stack up a lot of damage. All right, here we go. +5% damage per battlefront. That's really damn good. Unfortunately, we don't have a good building to activate this that also does damage. So I'm going to put my statue there. So that's a 20% damage buff from that statue being placed there because that now activates the ammunition storage. Come on now, give me a good... I don't want to put this here because this is battle fortress territory. It's very hard to get good overlap with a mortar position. A lot of enemies are going to come from this direction, so I could do this. Now, this targets enemies that are closest to the HQ. I think I'm going to go for the +5% damage on this. And since it's on a solo tile, I'm going to give it shrapnel. It'll also allow it to detect enemies. And then it's a question of do we want big damage or a lot of rate of fire. But I think those 2 upgrades for now make this a very cost-effective defense. It should, in theory, pop a lot of enemies. I think I will go for the faster rate of fire, particularly in the early game. It helps to just get that nice DPS up. The question is, do we want to go for mortar expertise? I plan... Ooh, direct orders could have been a really strong combo. I do plan to build a lot of light mortars this game, and I want to build a lot of Durendal, so I'm going to go for that extra recon. I think that recon plus the light mortar, it gives us some options. In terms of a sturdy bunker play, I do think a Reaper bunker right here covers a lot. So I'm going to put a bunker right there. Eventually, if I give it the Reaper cannon, it'll even cover a little bit of this. I wish this +3 height was right there. What if I did this? No, yeah, if the +3 height was right here, we would get much better coverage. I suppose, actually, technically, I think this is a better position for this. It has better coverage. Yeah, I think this is right here is a little bit better. And then I want to save up for the advanced gear. Perfect. I don't even think we took damage that round. So +25 supply production, it's pretty good. We don't necessarily need Miridor blueprints. Later on in the game, that might be useful if we need to deal with camouflage. The Werewolf is really quite good. Extra platforms are also really good, especially when you're playing the red team, because you get 2 platforms for each blueprint. 25 supply production and extra mortars. This could actually lead somewhere quite interesting, especially because we do have mortar efficiency already. Okay, so what are we up against? We're up against a Brida and a Devaskor. All right, so we are definitely going to need to get some kind of detection. Thankfully, our mortar positions will have some detection, so we won't be completely useless at fighting enemies. Let's have a look in terms of positioning. Let's see if I can get good terrain. This tile here is only 1 long, so I would like to add... We could create a loop. I mean, loops are actually not bad, because enemies have to go around a loop at some point. Concentrates enemies coming from this direction. Let's do it. Okay, adjacent buildings get +2 range and 10% damage. This is amazing for a Claymore right here. +2 range on a Claymore is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The biggest weakness of a Claymore is its range. That is the 100% biggest weakness of a Claymore. So if you have a building that gives it extra range, like an ammo depot or something, you've just gained yourself one of the most cost-efficient DPS buildings in the entire game. Amazing. And it's also pretty decent at dealing with anti-air, particularly if you go all LMG and ammo reserve. Alternatively, we could give it even more uptime with the +2 range on the trajectory analyzer. But I think I'm going to stick with, maybe I might go multipulse, etc. Claymore defense, efficiency, I don't necessarily want costs. I do want the Durendal though, and I haven't upgraded the Claymore. Durendals are really good for this leader, again, because the Durendal gets extra bonus range for being adjacent to this thing. If I were to put it right here, give it the plus long barrel, there would be like a +4 range. What is that? +2, +2, that'd be a +5 range with an extra 30% damage. That's an insane Durendal position right there. I do want to get my mortars down and get them their learning algorithms going. And I think a mortar position, if I had a platform, I would love it to put it right there. And put that mortar right here. I'm going to give it learning algorithms, so it gets 5% damage every wave. Slowly stacks up. I have come to appreciate the mortar. I do think it's one of the weakest towers in the game. But I think when you're playing a faction like the red faction, the cost efficiency of the mortar is really quite powerful. Even cheaper Claymores is kind of crazy. Sturdy bunkers are quite useful. I don't have the economy to pump out Durendals right now. I don't also necessarily have the economy to go for Pumas because they're quite expensive. So I think I might go for the sturdy bunker, plus the Claymore cost is quite good. Now, where do we want a straight piece? We could re-roll here for a different piece. I think we will. We got a corner piece. Do we want to create an empty spot here? I'm going to re-roll again. Okay, I'm going to just put a straight piece right here. To space out, oh yes, +50 supply production. And a decent, not amazing sturdy bunker location. Potential for a okay Reaper cannon, giving it a little bit more reach over here. That's +50 supply, that's awesome. It'll be an okay Reaper cannon in the long run. I want to get my mortars down. I don't love this mortar, but I will do it with the learning algorithms. I don't love this mortar either, but with learning algorithms, I think it becomes, you know, +5% damage every wave is incredibly efficient for its cost. And so over the long life of these mortars, they will, you know, become very, very cost-efficient DPS. Oh man, okay. More Durendal positions, or we go for the light mortar plus the scout hideout. We are up against cloaked foes, so I think both of these towers have detection, so that'll be quite useful for dealing with the cloaked foes after we've dealt with everyone else. Now we are going to have to deal with a road splitter here. And where do we want that road splitter to be? I honestly think right here is a great position because now we've created a loop. And one of the things about the enemies is the way that their AI works is that enemies have to walk down every possible piece of path. So basically there's an enemy that exists that has to walk over here, come back this way, and you know, like someone has to touch every tile. So like different enemies. So there's potentially an enemy that will loop back this way. There's an enemy that will loop in around here. So very, very useful to do this sort of thing. Now I could, in theory, if I had 2 platforms, actually, yeah, if I had 2 platforms, I could get another Claymore here. I think what I want, a scout hideout right here would be very, very nice. Also, scout hideout efficiency would also be really good if we could start stacking that up early. This will help a little bit with our cloaked enemies. It's not going to solve all our problems, but it will help. Again, like I said, it's not going to fix all of our problems, but it will help. I think when you're playing the red team, you actually just want to get as many blueprints as possible. And this building has detection. I'm going to start... Oh, hello. So this is a 3-way splitter. This path here is very short. I could put a 3-way splitter right there to extend it slightly. I think I will. This path here is really short too. I'll need a straight piece or something, or even a corner. A corner or a straight or a 3-way. Let's get ourselves shrapnel on some of these mortar towers so that we can detect our enemies. I'm also going to go for the Order of the Claimed Squire and the Reliquary of Jaderia, so that we can kind of save some money placing towers. Cloaked units coming in, perfect. Hero saved us. Holding out for a hero. Scout hideout, again, are going to be really useful. Honestly, all of these are really good. Claymore defenses are hard to place, and I really want more scout hideouts for the long term, so I can create like an anti-cloak area around my HQ. All right, let's get another shrapnel here. I would like to upgrade you with the reinforced pivot and the Reaper cannon. I don't think I can quite afford that just yet. I'm going to put another scout tower over here because I can afford it. I'll get you the reinforced pivot and then the Reaper cannon. So the real trick with dealing with cloaked foes is to make sure you kill everything except for the cloakers, and that way your cloaker towers, they can just deal with them very easily. Okay, decimation positions scale incredibly well with light mortars, giving them extra range and damage, so there's some potential there. I can't afford to reroll, and I need this path to be longer, so I'm going to add that there. +2 range and plus 10% damage is incredible. I think a mortar tower right here firing down this lane is great. A decimation position, it's not my favorite in terms of uptime of weaponry, but it's not a bad location. Decimation positions are very hard to place. This one's not bad because it does hit well. It's really good for the frag launchers. That's what this would be good for. So if I went frag, boom, rather than going the right side, and then treat this as a way to upgrade my mortars. Because this frag launcher will cover this. So left frag launcher is going to cover this side. And the right frag launcher is going to cover this side. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And we're mostly building this for the mortar fire control. We don't necessarily need to get that immediately, but long term, that's going to be really good. Oh my god, we're doing a mortar build. Oh my god. It's so terrible. And yet, you can't look away. I mean, eventually this thing is going to have like a disgusting range, so does it matter if it's in a weird position? You know what I mean? Learning machines. I'm going to put a mortar position shooting down this lane as well. In fact, I might put a few mortar positions shooting down this lane and give them learning machines. Okay, division relay is super good. Buildings, this stacks even more on our neutral building go. Division relay is a really good way to spend our tech to get fire rate, which allows us to scale. It also gives us income. I think the neutral buildings thing is really good though, particularly for this character. Where do I want to put a straight piece? I don't want to connect these two routes. So I'll put a straight piece right there. Let's make sure all of our mortar positions have the learning machine so they start stacking up that damage. I'm going to put another one there. Learning machine. Boom. Learning machine next round. Beautiful. So cheaper scout towers, extra recon, more light mortar positions. I mean, I feel like we've signed the pact with the devil. We've become the light mortar bro. And now it's just a matter of like trying to find positions where light mortars like get good uptime. And I think right now our mortars have a lot of really good uptime, and mostly we're just got them down for the learning machines. Because we need to stack that up. Ooh, even more decimation positions. We're mortar boy today, boys. I think I have a decent amount of DPS over here, so I think splitting this lane is good. Ooh, 50% upgrade cost on Durendals. Oh, that'd be sick. Okay, so we definitely want a platform to try and get that to max height. We're up against some floating canids and some mucos. The light mortars are actually pretty decent against that. I'm trying to think what would be the best way that I could upgrade my positions. It might actually be to go for the mortar fire control system. So I might save up my resources. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, okay. We need to be a little bit more careful. So I definitely need more DPS over here. Let's go for the multi-pulse, the frag launcher, and the ammo reserve on this Claymore. That should put a lot more DPS in this area. Plus, I also upgraded shrapnel so that these mortar positions do more. And let's see if we can make it through this wave now. Hopefully the combination of the multiples, etc., will help keep us clear on this again. Okay, the cloakers are still getting through over here, which is a bit of a problem. I need to get more detection up this way. I will grab more light mortar positions because they're just, I mean, that's the thing to do this game. I definitely want this lane to turn. Another DPS boosting tile. I'll put a light mortar aiming down this lane. Perfect. Let's get some detection with shrapnel here. So that'll help us there. I also wouldn't mind another scout tower providing that sort of anti-cloaker coverage of the main area. And now it's a question of, do I want to forsake this Miridor HQ range and damage to start getting more support towers? I think I would like another support tower or two to boost up the health of my HQ and the repair, because I'm a little bit scared. But I'm going to focus on getting the anti-camouflage so that, like, as the cloaked enemies get towards my main on their own, we can deal with them a little bit more effectively. Alright, yeah, the mortar positions are doing okay. Oh, come on! Don't let them through. Okay, we got the close support that gave us more health to play with. Platforms are extremely useful. I mean, light mortar positions are so cost effective. So we're going to be coming up against flying enemies. That is going to require some anti-air. Do I want all of my shield bugs to come from this direction? You know, it's not a bad idea. We do have a really good DPS zone here. And also, since I did get oh, I didn't actually pick up those platforms. Okay, that's a problem. Let's get another Miridor. I think at least 4 Miridors protecting my HQ with a little bit of light anti-cloaking DPS is useful. I think this is probably too much DPS for what this zone is going to be getting in terms of enemy units. Got my hero standing in front too. Come on, don't let him through. Perfect. Ammo depots are really, really useful. Durendals are really useful too. I'm going to grab that. Could T-junction you. I really need to T-junction this, because not enough stuff comes down this lane. 15% repair on the HQ is actually quite good. I'll put a mortar right there to activate it. They're relatively cheap to do, and they will eventually get better with the decimation. I haven't had a chance to activate this or this. Ammo depot, ammo depot, ammo depot. Where are you going? Oh, we don't have a place for you just yet, but we will find somewhere. I want more repair. I did just pick up some more repair from this neutral building. I'm worried about dying. I'm going to add a large... Well, I can't afford the large squad just yet. I'm going to save up for the mortar fire control. And I want to keep an eye on, where do I get hit from? Okay, I didn't get hit from anywhere just yet. Cheaper Claymore would be huge. I'm going to grab that. Plus 30 bunkers. Good for the AA. Let's grab that mortar fire control. And now these mortars are starting to have, like, insanely good range. Really huge map coverage, you know? We could start working on more decimation positions to make those mortars even more efficient. I don't love this position, but it's fine. We could save up for a mortar. Like, it doesn't have very good uptime, but it does a little bit of work. Even more mortar fire controls. Oh yeah, look at that. I do really want platforms, so I'm going to grab those real quick. I'm going to turn this path this way. This will get me a nice position, potential position for a decimation as well. This is a fantastic decimation position, actually. We'll definitely take that. And the frag launchers actually have really good coverage. That's massive. In this scout hideout, I will grab large squad just so we double its DPS. So rerolls give us extra DPS. That's pretty good. Plus the Claymore defense is an incredibly efficient thing. More mortar fire control. I mean, like, these mortars can almost shoot through. Oh, wow. Look at that. It actually spreads out. I've never seen mortars do that before. That's insane. Let's make sure all of the mortars that I've placed have learning machines, because I've placed some to activate these towers. I would like to get another decimation position. Not my favorite positioning. Let me see if I can find a good one. This one's okay. Left, right, plus mortar fire control. We're really, really good at clearing out chaff. Oh, look at that mortar fire! Boom! From downtown! Holy! Alright, we definitely need a bigger DPS concentration in this area. I'm going to get myself another height 1 Claymore right there that I'm going to upgrade. The detection on the commander isn't that big of a deal. Extra supply when I need to is not bad. So I think I would prefer this out of all of these other options. Plus this takes it out of the pool, which means I'm more likely to get other doctrines. I'm going to T-junction split here so I can loop this together. I'm going to upgrade this Claymore defense with frag launchers and then ammo reserves, because it already has the extra range. What we really need is a big DPS in this area. And then I would like to get a couple of Durendals around here. There's also Durendal potential up here. We have another ammunition storage. That's crazy. This mortar has insane range. There's the learning algorithms. I have 2 more mortars I can place. I'll put one right here and then one facing the other way. And I will give them learning machines as well. Okay, I've never done a mortar build, but it seems pretty okay, actually. When you get the right, especially when you're playing the red team, you get the extra blueprints. Like, that's crazy good. Let's get another close support to make sure our HQ is a bit... So some stealth is getting through over here, so that might be an indication that we need a little bit more DPS. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Okay. So we need a little bit more DPS over here, I think. And a little bit more DPS over here so we can clear out those stealthy boys a little bit easier. Zone commands, super good. Oh man, all 3 of these choices are crazy good. Plasma fences are incredible for dealing with cloakers, actually, too. What if I... Highly technological barrier. Oh man, I kind of want the zone command and the plasma fence. I can afford the plasma fence, and if I were to just pop it right here, that deals with almost all of the excess potential damage that comes from this location. Now, in terms of the zone command, I would love to pop it right here for the discount reduction on the zone command. It'd be very, very nice, but I would need a couple of platforms. Hopefully I can find some platforms in the next wave or 2 and then max out our income using the zone commands. Because the Irons of Ravelski are a faction that can really make use of the income. I'm also going to make sure that all of my mortars have detection now. I think that's going to be quite important, actually. So that just because they're really good at clearing out enemies, but they need to be able to see them. Oh, 20% HP per battlefront plus the armored staging ground. That's actually pretty damn good. Cheaper plasma fence costs. If I had more, I do have another blueprint. This will save a lot of money, but that extra HP per battlefront plus the armored staging ground, it's a tier 3 building with a lot of potential. We are going to need some anti-air. So that's something we need to consider. I don't necessarily want to reroll here because I want to save my money. And maybe it's time that we start considering, do we want to start looping our paths and stuff? I'm going to extend this path here. Would love to loop this. Didn't get any platforms, which sucks. It's not the end of the world, but it's not ideal. Shrapnel, 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 just so we have that little bit of extra detection. Learning machines, shrapnel, shrapnel. And now, in particular on this trio, I'm going to get myself advanced gear because what we need is a lot of refire to deal with those enemies that split. Because we want to be able to fire to do a follow-up shot after we break them, basically. Because right now, what we're struggling with is when they split, we need to get the fire back on top of them again. I think that's actually really helping. Stealth is getting close on some of the side lanes, and then there's a little bit of these canids getting through over here, but we do have the kind of DPS to deal with it. It would be nice if we could get some slow, and I think these scout towers are going to be a big contributor of slow for us. Miridor efficiency and platforms. I don't necessarily want the Miridor efficiency, but I really want those platforms. And I wanted the platforms because I'm going to put a zone command right here. And that's going to make it 50% cheaper to get requisition ops 2 and 3. And that's going to be a big part of our long-term strategy. Now, in terms of anti-air, I think a few bunkers at key positions with the double Venkadors would be really, really useful for dealing with these Metacris broods. So that's what I'm going to spend my money on, getting those extra heavy Venkadors, because Metacris broods, they actually follow the path, meaning there's a lot of flying enemies, basically, that we want to have an advantage against. I may need to get more DPS over here in this zone. The plasma fence is holding up. Okay. Yeah, okay. Good DPS over here. We're okay. The plasma fence only got tapped like once, I think. +1 range on Claymores is amazing, as well as even more supply from reinforcement. We've got a lot of money knocking around. Let's rotate this path and gain a height map. I would love more platforms. Maybe it's time we started looking at armored staging grounds, because they're quite good passive. Basically, it's an infinite range cannon. That's the way that I want you to think about it. I do wish the tanks didn't disappear between rounds. That'd be kind of neat. But it's an infinite range weapon that fires every 10 seconds. That goes down the path of most threat, or in other words, the path with the most enemy health on it. I definitely want to get some Durendals. I'm going to put one right here, and I'm going to give it the long barrel. It'll need it. All right, long barrel me. I also want heavy payload. It's very efficient. Yeah, these mortar positions are owning. Plasma fence, I'm going to give it extra health because it did get broken, and I don't want to be taking damage because I have not gone for a high health HQ. The sanctioned cannon is awesome, but an extra 100 HP every time you place a building, especially on a faction to get double blueprints, is really good survivability. Really, 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 really good survivability. So here comes the Metacris brood. We are going to need to start thinking about potential anti-air solutions. And also we might want to start like lowering our battlefronts to make loops. So I'm going to put this over here. I might connect these so that we create like a weird looping path they have to follow. In terms of anti-air, yeah, I think sturdy bunkers with the second heavy Venkador are pretty okay AA. It's not ideal, but we need some DPS, some extra anti-air DPS, because the Metacris broods are very, very fast. Yeah, see, look, here they come. So I definitely need like a little bit more AA DPS here. So I'm going to do this. Priority is air unit. Our tanks are rolling out. One thing I wish is like, whoa, okay, whoa! Okay, we took big damage over here. I might need a second fence here now that I created a lot of things. I need to turn this lane. +5 recon production is insane. And really importantly, I need to figure out a way to get more DPS on this area. I think we don't survive another wave. A Claymore right here is not terrible. In particular with the multi-pulse and the frag launcher and then the ammo reserve, like it's pretty good uptime. I have the expertise, plus it's on a +1 height, so that makes it extremely efficient. The big problem with the Claymore is its range, so if you have a range solution, it becomes one of the best towers in the entire game. Metacris broods are getting through, but it hit my tank. Oh no! We were so close. I feel like we had a build going there, but it was really, really interesting. Like those mortar positions, they did a lot. Decimation positions did a lot too. That Claymore was crazy good. Let's try again. Let's give it another college try. This would create a battle fortress zone, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it'd be a 3x3 battle fortress zone right near the HQ. Is incredibly good. I just do like these two lefts. I mean, I do like the banner of the regiment. It's incredibly interesting, especially if this is like a flat tile. You could do some really interesting things with the banner of the regiment, but I like support, helipad, and Reaper turrets. It gives you like a really strong early game, I feel. Alongside a Miridor with underground depot, close support. Getting 2 platforms on a threat reveal is incredibly powerful. Extra discovery per battlefront on a hero that already has discovery is insane. Oh, man, both of these are ridiculously good. I'm going to go for the discovery because it scales so nicely. Let's grab that logistic reinforcement. We'll go for close support next. We'll send the wave. So I think we have like 45 discovery. And I don't know exactly how discovery works. Miridor efficiency is kind of intriguing me right now. We could go for Miridor early game, which I do think has a lot of merits. I think it's a very reliable early game strategy. The question is, do I want this or this? I think this is better, this shape. Extra damage, but more expensive upgrades. That's actually really nice. Save up for close support. All right, how are we looking? We're looking okay. I think we're looking okay. Extra supply. Miridor efficiency 3 this early. That's crazy. All right, let's do close support. Tower stronger. Buildings that are adjacent to other buildings get 5% rate of fire. Plus 50 recon is nice because we can build the scout towers. The question is, I'm going to loop you this way. Plus 2 range and plus 10% damage. It's pretty damn good. Nothing worth activating with this guy. We could go for early building discount, which I think we can get away with this game. So we'll go for early building discount. You know, we're not taking that much damage. We have really good repair. Cheaper Miridors is strong, plus platforms. I mean, if we just lean into Miridors, maybe we can do something crazy. Order of the Claimed Sky, Reliquary of Jadera next. Okay, now we're taking a little bit too much damage. We need to start considering what our next options are. 1000 base HP is sick, but we've already leaned so heavily into Miridors that I feel like we need to take them. Are we going to merge our lanes? I think we will. Let's do it. Let's merge our lanes. Oh, 5% damage per battlefront. It's so good. I'm going to get at least 2 HQ boosting Miridors, so we have that little bit of extra HP, that little bit of extra repair. We're going to skip the Omega Axiom. 25 supply production is really good, plus Bastions scale quite well late game, especially for detection. We'll go for close support next. We need that close support. Extra 10% building HP is not bad. Platforms are really useful too. I'm going to re-roll this. Do we want to connect this way or this way? Let's connect this way. Ooh, 15% repair is quite good. I'm saving for the repair ability. Close support. It gives us extra health to play with. You got to think of your health bar as like a resource. An extra 10 HP or 1000 HP. Boom. So if we're put you right there, that's fine. For looping. Okay, let's save up for the Reliquary of Jadera. It might take some damage, it's fine. Gaining 350 supply on a neutral building and more discovery is really nice. I'm going to take that. Let's get these to connect. Oh, 50 supply right there. I would like this to be on an extra height to give it really good uptime around this corner. And detection could be useful. Even if we don't need it right now. Pretty much cover this whole zone. Miridor doing work. Let's go for more Miridors. I think we've already got, you know, the 30% efficiency on Miridors. We've already got a cost discount. It makes them so much better. Let's take the Reliquary of Jadera to save even more money. Beautiful. Cheaper upgrades isn't bad. I could take a huge injection of money. Claymores and Durendals are really good. A 3-way splitter here is actually just like so damn superb. Let's put you right there. That's your job. Let me have a look. If you had +1 more range, you would cover like a big chunk of the map. Here's a really good spot for it, actually. The underground depot is a lot of DPS. We don't have stealth right now. I'm tempted to go like underground depot, long barrels. That gives us so much range. And then veteran reinforcement. The extra shot is really nice. Basically doubles the DPS. This is slightly better. Like if you think, we'd be able to hit this tile, this tile, this tile, this tile. We'd be able to hit a few extra tiles with the underground depot, which would increase its uptime and also its DPS. So it's like it's a really cost efficient upgrade. We don't need the detection. We might need the detection though. So I think I will go the route of detection. Ooh, taking a bit of damage here. Okay, we have really good repair. Extra repair per battlefront, that's eventually going to get worse over time. The Miridor, though, and the decimation positions aren't bad. It means investing into light mortars isn't as bad. Like, they become way more efficient if you have that. Scout hideout here. Genuinely just a decent, high uptime building that slowly chips away the health of enemies on the way. What the really nice advantage of them is that they have full HP closest to HQ. Oh, advanced scout hideout. That's kind of an interesting idea. Let's do it. I like that. It has +4 range and deals 20% more damage. Like that's a lot of efficiency right there. I think we need to reroll, or at least I can get away with not really rolling this round, but I might need to save recon to do some rerolling later. Let's give you underground depot, logistic reinforcement, veteran reinforcement. You'll have pretty good uptime on this corner. We've got a little bit of a DPS dearth over here, so we might need to think about how we deal with that. Extra supply on reroll is a very useful way to convert recon into supply at a good ratio. Durendals are also really quite strong, especially if I decided to save up for a Durendal right now. I mean, adjacent buildings getting +2 range and a lot of damage. Like if I pop this right here and then I take underground depot, boom, that range becomes like disgusting. That's an insane uptime. Logistic reinforcement plus veteran. Extra supply per battlefront is very strong. It is going to get worse over time, but it is a nice injection over time. And cheaper Miridors as well. That's another economic benefit. That's where we want to put that. I still feel like this is the zone where we need DPS, so I'm going to put another... Well, actually, I'm going to put the Durendal. And do I want to raise up its height as well? Like, if we look at this, it's going to get +2 range. And then I'm going to give it another +2 range. So it could almost touch out to here. But if I raised it up by +2, it could reach out and touch even further. So I'm going to wait and see if we get another platform. And if we don't, I'm just going to place the Durendal and it'll chip away at the high health enemies on this lane. Ooh, the cruiser cannon on the HQ is an insane victory. Now, it does cost us a lot of supply, but I think that's worth it. We got a cruiser cannon? That's crazy. All right, let's build the Durendal here. Boom. Has sick range. We add the long barrel. Boom. And now it has insane range. We give it the heavy payload. We would like to get the blessed machine. And this thing is just going to chunk, 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 chunk. I think the cruiser cannon is going to carry us to where if we get an economic building, we can go hard into that economic building. The Slovak howitzer isn't bad. It's not my favorite. We aren't doing a funneling build, so it might not be the worst to go for. Cheaper scout hideouts isn't bad, and more Durendals is really good, particularly on a neutral building game style. This Durendal isn't going to be as good as the other one, but it still will be decent. Like, look at that coverage. That's great. So mainly the Durendal is a... Ooh, I do like air commands. Cheaper Miridors is like disgustingly good though. Yeah, let's put the splitter right there. Ooh, we got a 10 recon production. More Durendals, baby. This is the Durendal hero, by the way. We definitely want to get that Durendal expertise if we can. Now, the important thing to note about Durendals is they're not very good at killing things. They're really good at softening things up. They don't finish things off. 10% efficiency for my Durendals when I'm so heavily leaning into them feels really good. Plus the Miridor expertise takes us out of the pool and gets me a lot of recon, so I really like that. I don't love this, but I do wish I could connect these a little bit better. I'm going to re-roll, 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 re-roll. 4-way splitter is not what I was hoping for, but I'll take it. Extra supply per adjacent building. I'll just park 2 Miridors there for the extra money. They'll slowly and eventually pay themselves off, both in terms of defending my base, but also in terms of that money. We do have decimation positions, so it could be worth it to go for the light mortar, but 10% cost reduction on Durendals is insane for the blessed machine. Like, that's such a huge reduction. The blessed machine costs 4,000, so a 10% reduction is 400. It's like an insane reduction. I think we just keep leaning into our Durendal build. Claymore, scout hideout. Scout hideout efficiency isn't bad. Yeah, we definitely want to connect them like this. Nice. We have a pretty good decimation position too if we wanted to. It's not the best. If it was like a tile this way, if it was like at that height over here, it'd be insane. But it's here, which is not amazing. It's fine. It's fine here. We might be able to get better, and we have other things we can spend money on. Again, the Durendal. So let's keep taking advantage of this. A really good ammo depot right there too. Durendal positions, let's keep going on that. We've got so many of them. It's insane. I'm never going to stop building them. We do need a little bit of DPS down here in this southern quarter. Omega emitters are kind of an interesting tower. I kind of want the platforms. I do want to rotate you this way. We've got a recon production tower. Let's put 1, 2, Durendal plus long barrel, heavy payload. So you got good coverage in this area. You'll soften them up as they get closer. I want another Durendal right there. Long barrel, heavy payload. What else do we have? There's potential for a reasonable Claymore. Remember, we do get +1 range for our Claymores being adjacent things. I don't think we need to go for Claymores just yet. Maybe we want to keep our expertise pool light right now. The Advanced Scout would be a lot of fun up on this area. I think I'm going to go for the C2 mine launcher and the compact charges. I like this full left side because, sure, like the local supply gives you a lot of DPS. This gives you a lot of DPS and uptime. But I really like the passive little bit of slow on high health enemies. It just gets you a little bit more time. And then I'm either going to go for the underground garage or the Navy support. I might save up for the Navy support over the next few waves. Having a second cannon firing would be really, really nice. I'm noticing that we need like a little bit of DPS on this lane. Lead by example isn't super important to me. Werewolf positions would be nice, plus platforms. Let's think about that. So we definitely need more DPS here. How do we want to get that DPS? Could be a Reaper bunker, reinforced pivot, Reaper cannon, plus high ground expertise. It does target enemies with the most HP, but it softens them up, which is nice. And then if we were to put a bastion right there with roof snipers and shooting floors, they target the closest. Well, these guys target the lowest HP, and these guys target the full HP closest. And between the three of them, we'll hopefully sort of execute enemies coming down this lane, while providing support fire in the general area. I think a lot of people complain about the fact that you can't change targeting priorities in this game, but I think it's really more of a matter that you need to learn how to play around the targeting priorities of different towers and understanding that how they link together. Mission controls are very good, late game scaling. I'm hoping for a straight piece, hoping for a straight piece, hoping for a straight piece. Got a curvy piece, that's fine. We can loop it like this. I don't love it, but we can loop it like this. So this right here wouldn't be bad. We could get a lot of damage across our network, plus cooperative strategy, predictive deployment, and strategic planning eventually. I would also like one over here set up for support collaboration foreign studies. So support collaboration foreign studies, that's going to get us a lot more income, a lot more to play with. Bastion efficiency isn't terrible. We already have Miridor stuffs up. The Durendal though, that's our winner. The area, I do like the area denial launchers. Like they're a lot of fun to play with. I just don't think they're necessary. Man, I wish that I could just like, I wish I had a shovel tool that I could knock down this terrain height. Like maybe give me 10 supply and then I could place this here like so much easier rather than having to spend 3 platforms on it. God, something I wish for. Maybe the developers will one day listen to me. Who knows? Okay, what do we got? We would like a bastion right here. Could be good for also finishing off stuff. What do I want to spend my money on though? Don't want strategic planning, area denial launcher. Like the area denial launcher isn't bad. It does a lot of passive DPS over the course of a round, but extra blueprints. I think I'm going to hold off on making that decision. And I'm going to save up for the Navy support cannon like I talked about. There's a little bit of flyers getting through here, but they're not actually getting to the HQ. Retribution positions are awesome. The mission control would be another way for us to spend our tech to get a big income advantage. And I think I would like to do that. Here we go. Straighten this path out. Perfect. We can just about get our Navy support cannon after this round. Now, the great thing about the Navy support cannon is that it's going to soften up enemies in an AoE. Oh, supply production per entry point. This is literally the most broken ability in the entire game. Probably better earlier, but still broken. We need to get detection. Detection is officially a problem. We do have a Brightest Nest. I'm going to put it right here. So we need to start thinking about detection, which means scout hideouts near our HQ with large squad C2 mine launchers. In terms of other detection options, I think I'm going to play it greedy, put you right there, go for support collaboration, foreign studies, and then put one of those right there because that's worth at least a 4% DPS increase. I should have placed this like one tile to the right. I could have fit one right there too. So now we got crazy good income. And then we got to start thinking about what's our late game looking like. We definitely need to care about detection. And AoE. AoE is big. So I think maybe Warden Werewolves. Warden Protocol Werewolves with... probably with easy access shrapnel. I think that's the way we're going to go to try and deal with these splitter enemies, because they will shoot enemies that are closest to the HQ, so they're quite good at defending. The stealth enemies are getting through, and that's purely just because we're not killing everything else fast enough. Gaining extra doctrines would be good. Bastion efficiency. I don't need the supply. I'll go for Bastion costs. Let's connect. Extra detection and range. That's perfect. Let me entertain you. I would like to defend my land a little bit more efficiently. They were getting through over here, which tells me I need more DPS over here. I think extra slowing is good. The extra range is nice. Warden protocols, easy access shrapnel warden, easy access shrapnel warden, and then we'll do the same again. Easy access shrapnel warden, just so we can get this battery of... and mainly these are being built to defeat the Mega Mucos. I'm just hoping that I have enough anti-detection near my HQ to deal with the Lekos as they come in, or being able to tank the one or two that get through. I definitely need more anti-stealth. Hatchlings emerge from the ground, that's a problem. Scout towers aren't too good at the anti-stealth. I think the stealth is really going to screw me here. I need a bastion right there, set up with simple design roof snipers and shooting floor. I'm going to need a bastion right here to deal with the stealth as well. I'm going to put a scout tower right there to hopefully help deal with it. The problem is we just need a little bit more. Oh, look at that. 2% damage per entry point. That's insane. It's a 14% damage increase right now. Let's add some entry points right there. And use Sir Shrapnel Warden. We want to get another Warden protocol up as well. You're going to go for large squad plus the C2 mine launcher. C2 mine launchers provide more value the longer a round goes. Mines are quite good against the Lekos. That's another really good thing of the area denial launcher. I'm worried about this final round. I don't know. Oh, advanced Durendal. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is a disgusting tower to get into this position. Look at that AoE range. It also comes with detection. I'm going to give it the Claydon cannon because it's extra expensive to upgrade. So I'll just take the Claydon as a, budget upgrade. C2 mine launcher. We want those compact charges as well. This is our second last wave where we can make modifications to our defenses. So we need to be ready. Yeah, the stealth enemies are a big problem. And I think the way that I deal with it is going to be weird. Area denial launcher on you. That's going to help a lot. Push you back that way. So you're area denying here. I'm going to get you to area denial here. Really, like, mines are really good against stealth units. Compact charge is right there. There's a potential position here for a Claymore. I could go LMG or frag launchers. Let's go with the multi-purpose. Like, not a bad position for this. Come on, don't let them through. Do not let them through. Do not let them through. Do not. Do not let them through. Come on now. Nice. We did it. Whew. That was, I gotta say, I think there was a little bit of luck involved there, but I think our general strategy of getting the early Miridor expertise allowed us to let them carry us through the early game, then transitioning to the Miridor with the Prime Kinetic Estelia, that was like key. I think if we were playing on Frontier mode, I would have died there, and I'm not really sure how I could have played better. Maybe I was a little bit too greedy, or maybe I wasn't greedy enough, who knows? Maybe it was a mazing issue. But we did beat difficulty 4 with the lines of Ravelski, and our HQ did most of the heavy lifting due to its weapon. I would love a weapon breakdown. I think this game has so much like insane potential that it's super, super exciting. But yeah, I'm really proud. Like, I beat with Archaeologist Caria is like the best one in my opinion, because her Xenoprognosis building is just so strong if you can get it up and running. But getting a difficulty 4 win with Prime Kinetic Estelia, I'm really, really happy with that. And I think I'm gonna keep pumping on this red team. I want to figure out the red team. I want to learn what their advantages and disadvantages are. This extra -1 range on Frontier mode with the -1 range on Frontier mode sounds like the ultimate challenge mode, but on the other hand, that's a lot of damage. I do think range is just one of the most powerful things in the entire game, and things that modify range are just have an outsized effect on the gameplay. But yeah, I loved Prime Kinetic Estelia. Really, really fun. Love playing around Discovery. What would be quite fun, you know, I'm envisioning like a Tower Dominion 2 dual strike, you know, like Advanced Wars, where like in the future you could pick 2 commanders, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be awesome. Also, I love the idea of a co-op mode. There's so much potential in this game. Like, it's such a good tower defense. Like, the UI is beautiful. It's incredible. The art is incredible. I think the game design is fantastic. I think the game design does need like a little bit of refinement. There's some very clearly good and bad doctrines in here. Like, I think drill camps kind of sucks. Grenadier production kind of sucks. This one is insanely good. I love it. The supply per battlefront is pretty decent. The one that gives you supply per thing is like OP. Honestly, I would be totally down if like most doctrines scaled per battlefront. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how the developers like continue to develop this game, because it's so good. I genuinely think like if Rogue Tower was like the first step in the new age of tower defense, I feel like Tower Dominion is like the next 4 steps, and we're just like a few steps away from like the peak tower defense game, like that rivals like Bloons or whatever. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.